We even got to. All right, and we're live. What's going on, guys? DPS Podcast episode 37. I actually remembered the number. I'm not going to act like I didn't just go look at Slow Mo's channel to see what episode we were on, but
I know you do it every week.
Man. I do every week. I go say, okay, what episode are we on? Okay, 37. Cool, because I'm not about to have Slow Mo slandering me in the beginning of a show. He's going to slander me for some other reason. It won't be it won't be the episode number, but we got an early super chat from our homeboy Donnell Brown. I wanted to make sure that I got this out of the way before you did take off. But he says, just showing love before I take off for work. Have a great show. And I was talking about first party, not third party last week. Look, man, I know what you was talking about last week, man. But you was
remember what he was talking about last week.
Well, he was talking. It was about the I believe wasn't it about Expo? Oh, one more thing. Shout out to Donnell Brown with another $5 super chat. One more thing. How do you feel inside the first time you played the game with your kid? What the hell is he? What is he talking about? First time you played the game with your kid. Okay,
hey, Hustle says, can you turn me up a bit?
Turn you up? Oh, you know what? I think I turned you down last week. Yeah, I could definitely do that. Let's see here. There's slow-mo and video audio. Yep, there it is. Oh.
So we good?
Yeah.
All right. So Donnell, I assume what he's talking about is the first time you played a video game with your kid. And for me, it was the first time I played Forza Horizon 4 with my son. And that was actually pretty cool. Like showing him how to drive the car and then going back and forth, and then we both did a race together. We also have been playing Minecraft Dungeons together. Me on my PC, him on his Xbox Series S. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
it's like a proud moment,
It is a proud. That is a proud moment. I don't. Go ahead and get that Superman slow mo.
Okay, we got Ramon Terrell with the $5 super chat. I know Forte didn't want to say it because he didn't want to call him.
I didn't want to call him Ramel. I was about to say it. I was like, no, slow mo, save me.
We got Ramon saying much love to the homies. Easily one of the best podcasts out here. We appreciate that, Ramon. That's high praise. And he said one day me and Forte need to have some GameStop talk. We share history. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ramon worked at GameStop at some
He
point.
did. Everybody that worked at GameStop has a story to tell, and one day when I leave GameStop, I will tell my story.
So you afraid to tell it now?
Sir, you can't say stuff unless I'm talking on an official capacity about this company. We don't talk GameStop like that.
They said I'm too low again.
Again? Let me see. Yeah. You are too low. Is that the one? Okay, so I have you turned up on the dashboard already. Not the dashboard, but the desktop audio. Do I need to do it in Discord too? Because I don't have you turned.
I don't know
what Discord your
source you have for me in Discord, but I mean not Discord.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, there might be something in Discord, but
that's what I'm looking to see.
Just turn me up wherever you can, and that, and then we can level it out as if.
There you go.
That says it's
I just turned you up in there.
Cool.
I didn't change anything, but Slow-mo must just be sick today. His audio level is just really low. I don't know. Oh, did you turn your voice down on Discord?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
I actually took it was it's been at the same level that it's always been. So I turned myself up again. Hustle was saying turn me up in Discord. So I would say turn me as high.
I put you to 200% in Discord.
Okay, hopefully I'm not blowing out people's ears.
I hope not. Well, I mean, don't trust me. Don't let us know.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because me being quiet is like, people saying I'm quiet. That's
I
like
put you to 200% in
rarely,
Discord.
rarely the case. So, I mean, look, it
It might
is
be
what
the
it
fact
is.
that I might be too loud. That could be what it is.
We'll get it figured out, man.
Yeah.
We'll get it. And again, chat, just let us know how things are going and where we can make adjustments. But,
So yeah, go ahead.
oh my bad.
No, I was gonna
No,
say.
so
Go ahead.
we just talking over each other.
Yeah, we are.
What have you been up to this week, man?
This week I have been pretty much doing nothing. I cut grass yesterday for 12 hours. It felt like, but it was really only 3. But it felt like 12. I was working.
I was looking at grass.
Man, it was work. Well, we were doing some landscaping yesterday, so my wife wanted to get out in the yard and she wanted to put some plants down. She went to the store, bought a bunch of plants, so we had to plant those. We redid our flower bed, which took a good minute because half of it is mulch, and underneath the mulch is a bunch of rocks because they built the foundation under rock. So we was doing all that stuff, and by the time I looked up, I started at 9. By the time I was done, it was like 3:00 in the afternoon doing all that stuff. So I was emotionally drained after doing that. Then I took a nap, and then I woke up and I played some Gears of War 5 because I started the campaign because I definitely want to get through that. And then outside of that, did a raid of Destiny yesterday. And was just pretty much just chilling with my kid yesterday. We were shooting hoops at the basketball court next to our house. It was a nice day yesterday. We did all that before it started raining later in the afternoon, but just a typical, dad day basically. I really didn't get a chance to play any games until about, I want to say 8, 9 o'clock at night. Normal times for most people that work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I mean, it sounds like your typical week, bro. Like for me, and shout out to everyone that came to check this out. I did a live stream of the Scarlet Nexus demo. I'll get into a little bit deeper on that in a minute, but I really, really enjoyed that. I've been getting a little bit more back into Rogue Company, and let's see what else here.
You're a neglect for punishment, I see.
I finally finished. I mean, I actually finished a lot of games. So I finished Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition on PC, and I streamed that on Twitch. I finished Ratchet and Clank on PS5, but it's the PS4 Ratchet and Clank. I finished that, so I'm all ready for for Rift Apart, of course.
Right.
And but no, back to Scarlet Nexus. Scarlet Nexus is really good. I'm actually really like it. It's been so often that I've been interested in a game and then I play it and then it doesn't reach the expectations that I have for it.
Mm-hmm.
And Scarlet Nexus actually did it. So I was really shocked by that and happy because the game's pretty good and it's a free demo. It's out on Xbox and PlayStation, so check it out. If you were interested somewhat in what Astral Chain is, then you would definitely like Scarlet Nexus because the gameplay is very similar, but I think it's actually a little bit more fast paced and frenetic. I think the controls are more intuitive than Astral Chain, as well as the finishers and how the combat comes together with being able to use your teammates' abilities is really awesome. And even though they share a very similar plot and story, I think the anime art style, the aesthetic looks nice. And I mean, look, it seems like a really cool game. I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's supposed to come out later this month. I'm definitely going to play it on PC, of course, But yeah, I can't wait to play that one. Have you tried out Scarlet Nexus yet?
Nope, I haven't installed, and I might try playing it after this show today. You might have to jump into that and see what it's actually like. I know you were having a ball playing it. It looks real interesting because every time I look at that gameplay, I'm like, man, it looks so good. Like and just watching you play it, I
It
saw
looks
you
good
do.
and plays good.
I saw you do one of the combos, and you was like, you stood there for a second. It was like, this is fun.
Right? I was so giddy.
You did the Beavis and Butthead laugh. He was like, this is
good. Yeah, it's awesome.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was just feeling. It was great. It was just really good, and I'm not trying even to overstate how easy the gameplay is to get into. I did the tutorial parts ahead of time, well, in the beginning, and it was they ease you into the combat pretty well. They don't just throw you in headlong and just say like figure it out. They actually, the tutorial is pretty well done, and then in that first initial mission, which is kind of introducing you to your crew, the world, everything that's going on. They're also still teaching you things as well. For example, I was using the guy, and by the way, both the male and female protagonists both have different backgrounds, different stories, and their missions are different. So when in the demo, you would play as one of the two of them, and I actually prefer you play both of them because they both do things differently. The guy is very much close range, the girl's more mid to long range, and their abilities are different, as well as the people who are on their team have different abilities as well. So the dude will have somebody that has like clairvoyance, a pyromancer. There's another one that is Skelomaniac or something like that. I don't know. Look, it's a whole bunch of different ones, but there's also one where you can teleport through walls, and so he has different abilities, and the maps are separate for each one of them. So even though the mission structure was pretty much the same, I was there to take out a particular like big enemy. The story beats were the same, just with different characters. It still was different with different maps, and the gameplay was a little bit different. But I really enjoyed it. The gameplay is awesome, and I know some people were thinking of kind of saying it was similar to what's the game that is kind of Dark Soulsy, but it has the same kind of anime look to it. I can't think of the
not Immortal shit.
Covain.
Yeah, Covain.
Gameplay is nothing like Covain whatsoever. So if you don't like that kind of gameplay style, they are very different. I played Covain. The story with the vampires, it was okay, but I really couldn't get into it too much. I thought it kind of took itself way too seriously, and I didn't really enjoy the gameplay. So they're very, very different. This one, I enjoyed the gameplay way more. So, yeah. Everyone in the chat is saying Covain. That's the one I was thinking about. But it's even though it has a very similar art style to Code Vein, I think the animation's better and the gameplay's better. It's just I think it might end up being kind of a sleeper hit this year that people knew about but they weren't really checking for, but it may turn out to be really good.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was always interested in it, but then when I saw you playing it, I was like, yeah, this actually looks pretty fun. And like I said, this is the cool thing about what's going on with Xbox going forward. We're actually starting to get, experiences like this that before we never, did get. And I mean, these games did come before, but now it seems like it's more of a focus going into the next generation. And a lot of us just wish this happened a lot sooner. But yeah, I really enjoyed your stream. I think a lot of people that were here truly enjoyed the stream too. But I definitely want to get into a lot of these people that are in the chat. So we got Spider13, he's here. Miss Dies a lot. Shout out to you, bro. We got our homeboy Hustle and Motivate in the chat. Shout out to you, brother. Sir Taz, he's in the chat. Fear Avengers up in here. I appreciate you, bro. We got
Eric in the house.
Yeah, Ericut's in the house, and her daughter's in the house. The Miss Ash and Luca's in the house too. Racer Gundam X. Shout out to all of you. You always support this show. We really truly appreciate everything you guys do. We got Mr. Xbot up in here too. We got Franco Tech up in here. You know, all the usual suspects. We definitely appreciate it. And we got Basement Radio Arcade Podcast with the $2 super chat. Forte do the mic trick. Sup slow mo.
No.
DPS, let's go.
Absolutely
No,
not.
first of all, the mic trick cannot happen without a camera, and we're not doing that on DPS. That is something that will only be. It can't happen ever again. Slow mo.
It's never ever going to happen.
Listen, man. Listen.
I'm leaving. If I ever see anything like that again, I'm leaving. And I know a lot of people are like, "What is the mic trick?
What is the mic trick?"
Want to know.
You don't want to know what the mic trick is.
Really don't want to know. I'm telling you, it's going to be burned in your memory. You won't be able to forget it. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweats, wondering why you looked at what you saw, and it's just going to be. You're going to hate yourself for it.
Oh man, yeah.
But no,
it was fun though.
So do you think you're getting Scarlet Nexus?
Yes.
When it comes out?
I already got to pay for.
Yeah, I really wish. I don't know why they didn't have a demo on PC, because I was saying during the stream I want to play the demo on PC as well, but there's no demo on PC, which is weird.
Are you gonna
have a demo on the consoles?
So are you gonna be PS5 or PC for this game?
PC, definitely PC.
Okay.
With a game with combat this fast paced, I want to have it playing it at as many frames per second as possible. So PC, I mean PlayStation 5 was definitely 60 frames per second, but I could probably play a game that looks like that with my setup probably easily at like 144 frames at 1440p and ultra settings. So I know some of the people in the chat are like, "Oh,
well, you know, if you would have went out and got that, graphics card that released today, you could play at 260 frames per second.
Even if I wanted that graphics card, I had zero shot, because none of the stores in my area were selling it physically in store, and online they sold out of them before I even woke up in the morning. So
I saw that they were all gone.
Yeah, they were gone by like 8 in the morning. So whatever, right? Shout out to Enrique with the $2 super chat. PCMR, we already know it. Of course, of course.
The man is
PC
terrible.
is where it's at. But no, like I do wonder a couple of things about this game. So like I love the combat. I love how you can basically borrow your teammates' powers, but I do wonder. So there was a couple of parts, and I don't know if you noticed it in my live stream, where they wanted you to use a particular ability, but there were issues with the camera, and so I was having an issue with trying to hit an enemy. I never really like it when the camera is too close in certain situations where there's like a narrow hallway or a narrow alley, and then like you're getting hit by people off screen. It's really annoying to me. Like, it's like I can't dodge an attack I don't see coming. Right. And the camera is, sometimes you have to like adjust where the camera is in order to continue fighting enemies and not get caught off guard. But there's a particular part where there's an enemy that I had to use one of my teammates' abilities, but every time I tried to switch to that ability, I can't remember what was happening either. It was not off a cooldown, or I switched to it and then it didn't activate, and then it went on cooldown. So I was like annoyed. So I was basically waiting for this ability to come back up, beat those enemies without kind of priming the enemies with that ability, then switching to a different ability to do damage and finish them off. So that was the only issue I had. That and the kind of a little bit weirdness with the camera. I hope they kind of adjust those things. We're probably more so the camera than the other part, because that's more of a game design thing. Right. But overall, it's gone to the top of my list. It's going to be a game that I'm not going to put in the backlog for certain.
It shouldn't go in your backlog, because I could definitely, like I said, when I heard the Beavis and Butthead laugh, I was like, "Oh, this is official." Shout out to After His Passion, $5 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. It says best chemistry in gaming podcast. And you know what?
Hey,
I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry, bro. You know why? Because about to cry. Because he ain't lying. It ain't nobody else in this world I would rather do a show with on a one-on-one basis is none other than this man, because he makes my life easier, and I hope I do the same.
You trying to pluck the heartstrings out here, man.
Well, well, just trying to give you something to digest before, you know, I start slandering you later for some strange, obscene reason, you know.
Well, I got a lot of things to slander you on that I already know we're gonna get into and talk about.
Yeah.
So don't worry, you're gonna get it. You can get all that back.
Yeah. But
no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so Scarlet Nexus, I think I know where you stand on it. Please let us know in the chat. Let us know if you're checking this out on Rewind. Tell us in the comment section, are you going to be checking out this game? Is it a day one buy for you? Let us know in the chat right now if it's a day one buy for you. But let's move forward on this. Yo, so let's talk about this Ubisoft. Yo, go ahead. Quick. You want to say something? Go ahead, Slomo.
The only thing that would make me not, I'm still going to get it day one. The only thing that might prevent me from playing it day one is how much, because for one, we got June 10th is Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate on PlayStation 5. There's that, right?
Right.
Which I might start it. I don't know. But because the very next day is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And, you know, I got a feeling.
I got a feeling
that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is going to review extremely well.
I think it is too, actually.
I think it might be Insomniac's highest rated game. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. It might rate higher than Spider-Man. So I kind of feel like I might. It depends on how. I don't think it's going to take me longer than, I don't know what, a week or two, if that, to finish the game. But if I like it so much I end up wanting to platinum it, I might have to start Scarlet Nexus a little late. So we'll see. June looks like a really good month, man.
Well, Joe, true, man. June looks incredible. I mean, just Ratchet and Clank by itself. And you know what? That's a good, because I don't have it up here as a topic, but that's a good segue, because Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is the next PlayStation exclusive that we're going to get. And it might be the last PlayStation 5 exclusive we get for quite some time. But I don't want to get into the whole PlayStation and generations things just yet. But I do want to get into the tweet that you sent me and forwarded to me earlier about what Insomniac actually came out. Well, Insomniac sent out a tweet and they were talking about what, Slow-Mo? What did they say today when they were talking about Ratchet and Clank?
Let me go through it. Wait, Ratchet and Clank. Oh yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was designed exclusively and built from the ground up for PlayStation 5. This is from the Insomniac Games Twitter account.
Listen, man, we're not going to go really deep into it because everybody knew this. That SSD is putting in overtime in that game. Some of that stuff probably could work in a PS4. I mean, the game in general probably could work, but I don't know if you would be able to get that fast motion, fluid gameplay when it comes for transitioning from world to world or jumping through teleports and, rifts and stuff as smooth as you actually can in that game on a PS5. So I just like the fact that they actually just came out and said, just because Sony doesn't believe in generations, Insomniac, we do. So this game is only going to work on your PS5, and they kind of doubled down on that. So, and I think it was mostly due to there's just a lot of noise out here around the subject around PlayStation when it comes to that.
Something came to mind for me. Now, I did see your tweet as you responded back to that, and you said you can definitely tell.
You can definitely tell.
But you know what? You know what, Forte? You know what I remember?
What? Oh, here we go.
I remember when Ratchet and Clank the Rift Apart was first shown.
Yeah.
And I remember, and Enrique's in the chat, he'll back me up on this. I remember you saying, I don't see why this game wouldn't be able to play on the PlayStation 4. It's no different than the Ratchet and Clank that came out on PS4. You remember that?
I do remember that.
So what's changed, sir?
I was wrong. That's what changed.
Oh, you were wrong. Can you say that again?
I was wrong.
You were wrong?
I was wrong.
Tell me exactly what you were wrong about.
I was wrong in the fact, graphically, the game does look better. It looks a lot better. Not saying the thing is not, because what I was caught up on was the graphics of that game Could they be done on the PS4? Because we done see some really good. No, wait, listen, hold on. We done see some really good, because there's a difference between graphics and there's a difference between sharpness and texture quality and everything. Because I think Ratchet and Clank in general is a good looking game no matter what. We also saw games like
that game visually.
It looks.
It couldn't. Hold on.
Once I
Rivet and Ratchet
yes.
and Ratchet are like, they're doing the whole that I would call it the Insomniac version of Jet Set Radio, where they're rail grinding, and you see how the animation is on the fur is rippling, their ears are like waving in the wind. All of that extraness that's going on, you can't do that on PlayStation 4.
Right.
That PlayStation 4, you wouldn't hear a jet engine taking off, or as our buddy Eric Jackson would say, where like it's doing the Predator explosion at the end.
What does that have to do with
your PlayStation 4?
What does that have to do with the game though, Slow-Mo?
Like that's not just graphics. The extra animation stuff, that's more going on than just visuals. Because, for example, if you wanted to do just a one-to-one visual difference, for example, Horizon Forbidden West, all of the same stuff that's going on that we saw in that reveal for Horizon Forbidden West is all going to happen exactly like that on the PlayStation 4. The only difference is that you're going to have far less textures, far less, it's definitely not going to run at the same frame rate.
Right.
And visually it's not going to be as appealing. But all the animations are all going to be the same. What I'm saying with Rift Apart is that the animation, all that additional animations, as well as the one part where you're rail grinding over this huge giant, like all that other stuff, I just can't see that running on
no. Well, that's what I was gonna say, because I was just going off of what my thoughts were the first time I seen it. It looked like a Ratchet and Clank game, but I did say that the one thing that was definitely the tell was the jumping between worlds and the rifts and stuff. I mean, that part right there.
I told you. That was the one thing that you definitely could not do with that old mechanical hard drive.
Slow-Mo. Anybody with a brain knew that, Slow-Mo.
Well, apparently your brain took a nap that day, because that's not what you were saying.
Listen,
you said and we saw all that stuff. We saw the whole going through rifts. That was the very first thing they showed us. We saw all of that stuff, and you still said that could have been done on the PlayStation 4.
Okay, well, I changed my mind. It can't be.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone
especially when I saw that second gameplay demo and I watched it, I was like, yo, this can't be done on the PlayStation. I mean, like I said, parts of it probably could be, but it wouldn't be the same experience.
It wouldn't be the same experience,
and that's what I think. That's what the difference is.
Experience.
Well, that's what I think. That's probably That's probably a better way of explaining it. The game could happen on a PlayStation 4, but it wouldn't be nowhere near what the experience of the PS. Like the game this literally is game design written all over it, and you would fundamentally break the game design if you tried to put this on PS4. But yeah, I just wanted, because you brung that up, and I was like, we could just knock that little tidbit out of the way. But I sent you some stuff on Ubisoft Forward. They're going to be showing, the one big thing they're going to be showing there is something around the Rainbow Six Patriot, and how they're actually going to be finally bringing that to people after 9 years of saying it wasn't coming or something like that.
Rainbow Six Patriot,
because you remember
Rainbow Six Quarantine?
No, well, you remember Patriot was the original game, and then they changed it to Siege. And now it's supposed to be, it's Quarantine now. That it's literally, they're literally bringing out Quarantine. That's what I meant to say. They're bringing out Quarantine after they supposed to bring it out the first time.
I've been waiting for Rainbow Six Quarantine. Like I used to play Siege for a little bit, and I used to run with a crew, and we would play it together. And I had some fun. I had fun for a little while, but it got a little old to me. And grinding to unlock the the new operators that will come out. It just like there was just other things that I wanted to play. It's still fun though.
There's other things you wanted to play. There was other things you wanted to play.
Yeah, like with the time that I had, I would much rather play other things than.
What would you want to play,
actually?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Oh well, yeah, Division was actually pretty good back then.
Stop it, right? So anyway, yeah, but they've had like little like limited time modes. For example, they had this co-op mode with zombies at one point that was pretty cool, and I like that. But it was very limited, and I was like, man, well, with the gunplay of this game and the operators and their abilities and how different that they are, to be able to expand beyond just your typical PvP in small environment kind of gameplay, I would love for them to do that. And now they've built up over the years. It's kind of like, in a sense, it's Ubisoft's version of like CS:GO. If you think about it, like it's gotten to the point now where the community is so invested and they can just continue to keep dropping new operators and do new things, and it stays fresh for the people who play the game, that they can now start to branch out in a sense, kind of like how Overwatch is branching out with some PvE stuff eventually, whenever they finally do that. Blizzard's going through some stuff, but I'm looking forward to that. I might actually be interested in it, and I don't know, I've been kind of thinking about getting Ubisoft Plus, especially considering they what was leaked out with, and they're probably definitely going to discuss this at the Ubisoft Forward, what was leaked out with them expanding out their Ubisoft Plus, where there's going to be like basic, standard, and ultra, plus ultra, or whatever the heck the highest level is, premium or something like that.
Right.
I think I might. It's because I think they realized that Ubisoft Plus was overpriced at $15 per month just for everything that Ubisoft has in their catalog and the new stuff that comes out with expansions. They had to make some changes when they admitted they were going to stop dropping 4 games a year.
Right.
So at that point, you gotta kind of change this up. Like, what am I paying for? I already kind of felt $15 a month was too much for what they were providing. And now your content release is going to change, and you're not going to have as many AAA titles, and now you're doing stuff like Division Heartland, which is free to play. That's not what people really want to see. And so, yeah, I think they're going to change that now. And you probably want to. There we go. Yeah, anyway, you got it. You caught it. I think I might jump in on like the basics.
You should jump in.
That. Yeah, because I would like to play Rainbow Six and just get the operators. Like, I don't feel like grinding out for the operators. Just get the operators, and just when the quarantine comes out, I'll just get that, and I can just play that, whenever I feel like it, and not feel like, man, I gotta play this in order to get to the good stuff,
Right. I haven't played Rainbow Six in forever. It's been a while. It's a really good game.
It's been a while for me too.
It's a really good. It's a really good game. It's like one of the best multiplayer games you could play, especially if you like the whole dying you're out type gameplay, which I've never really been, because I'm
got one life.
I'm a hothead, and I like to take over the world, and I think I could kill the whole team by myself, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. Games like Rainbow Six, but they have done so many different things with that game over the course of the last generation to prepare itself for what they're about to do next. I'm just really excited to see what the next version of Rainbow Six is going to look like, because we go all the way back to, when it was all Red Storm, and you go back to when it was Rainbow Six Vegas, and the hundreds and hundreds of hours, probably thousands of hours I put into that game. And then I was a huge fan of trying to see what Patriot was going to be about 9 years ago. Then they scrapped the single player to give us the multiplayer version of Rainbow Six Siege, which, a lot of people were a little upset about when it first happened. But it looks like they're finally coming full circle on that, and seeing exactly what's going to happen around, Ubisoft Forward. But outside of just finding out about Rainbow Six, what else do you think we're going to see at I know they have the are they going to talk about the Division stuff there? Is that even close to being talked about?
They probably will. Okay, so I can't say I know this because I have personal experience with it. Let's just say I heard some things. We'll say it like that.
I like
heard.
hearing things. Hearing things are good. New Jeff Grubb here, y'all. New Jeff Grubb here.
Stop. I heard that the Division Heartland is in a playable state, really playable. I may have heard that Division Heartland test went well for people who were not Division fans, but not so much people who were Division fans.
Oh, that's
I heard it's essentially Scavengers. The free to play game that's on PC called Scavengers. If anyone in the chat has heard about or played that game yet, I heard it's basically like that game, but with a higher budget and better visuals. I heard.
Keep going.
I heard that all of the skills and abilities that people enjoy in Division, with the turret, the drones, the sticky bombs, the all that stuff is not present in the game. That they've added stealth elements, and even though you get guns and stuff, that it's two different modes essentially. There's exhibition, and then there is storm mode, and storm mode's PvE, where it's a little bit like survival from the first game, which was very popular and very good. And exhibition is just straight PvE, where you actually keep the gear that you find and extract with.
Racer said you got your info from the park.
Right. There was a kid in the park that actually played it and told me all this stuff. But
he was waiting for next. He was waiting for next at the basketball court, y'all. He was waiting for next.
I heard that probably might be something that is being released this summer. And actually, I could stop with that I heard nonsense. This definitely going to be released sometime in the summer, based off of the timeline that they showed when they announced that the Division Heartland was a thing. So there was a timeline where they showed Division 1, Division 2, Warlords in New York, and then they had Heartland in between the new Division content that's coming out later this year. So it was all in chronological order. And if that's coming out before the Division content is coming out this fall, then it's got to be this summer. So it's probably going to be coming out this summer. And if it's coming out this summer, they're going to show that Ubisoft Forward, because, I mean, very few people do stealth launches like Apex Legends.
So yeah. So another interesting thing about this is they're doing it the day before, well, 2 days before Xbox does their reveal. They're doing it on the 11th, which is that Friday.
Right. But by the way, Erica in the chat asks, "Are we doing E3 live reactions?"
Unfortunately, not.
So yeah, so we're not, because the day of the Xbox conference is actually my wedding anniversary. So I won't be doing anything, although I probably will be sneaking a peek at the Microsoft conference through my phone. But I won't be doing anything on that day.
Don't get yourself in trouble, bro.
I'll
make sure that's your wife's day, man. Don't be pissing her off. I need you to come back to the show.
Hey, look, man, I'm gonna avoid all stab wounds. I'll be good. But I think maybe something for the 12th, because there was the E3 release. What was it? The E3
they released the schedule was released today. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think because the Ubisoft one's on the 12th.
Ubisoft's on the 11th. Ubisoft's on the 11th.
The 11th?
Yes.
Oh, and thank you, Hustle. Thank you. Appreciate that. Are you sure it's the 11th?
Yes. Now you got me checking myself. Pause.
Mr. Xbox asks how many years. It is
Oh Lord.
12. I'm glad
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
The
See,
funny.
this is practice because if someone asked me
The
while
funny
she's
thing
around, I
is,
could be a little bit faster with that. But I think it is 12 years.
the funny thing is, Slow Mo. Me and my wife's anniversary is on the 11th.
Really?
Because last year when I went to E3, I was gonna have to leave 2 days. I was gonna have to leave that Wednesday to get home for my anniversary. My wife would have been, no, I wasn't trying to like not be here for our anniversary, so it's kind of crazy.
Nope, it's the 12th.
Is it the 12th?
I just looked at Nebel's tweet.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're
earlier.
right. It is
it's
the 12th.
The 12th with Gearbox. So I think that we might do. I might be. I'll say to you now. Maybe we can hash this out now.
What's that, Saturday?
Live. The 12th is a Saturday. Yeah. Maybe we might be able to do a little bit of the stuff. We'll figure it out, Erica. Like we'll figure out what we can do. I can't do the 13th, and it looks like Capcom and Take-Two is doing the 14th.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting information that I sent to you, Forte, about what 2K may be revealing. That got me kind of excited.
Yeah, it got me excited too.
News earlier today.
It might actually save a certain franchise.
Right. So I think I think we might do some of the stuff, but just unfortunately not like the biggest thing is I think most people are going to be wanting to live react to the Microsoft / Bethesda conference, and I just can't make that, unfortunately. But but back to what we were talking about. I think that Ubisoft's conference is, I mean, it's not going to be that great a conference. Like, when is Ubisoft's conference ever really great?
Well, the question is how many songs of Just Dance are they going to play?
Oh, of course, we're going to get like at least 2. Every Ubisoft E3 conference starts with like a dancing panda and like a marching band, and they do the Just Dance thing. Like, they still haven't figured out that literally nobody who's watching this E3 conference plays that game.
They sell a lot of copies. That game
are super casuals who don't even know what an E3 is. So you can still have your Just Dance, never even mention it at an E3, and it'll still be your biggest sold game that year, Ubisoft. You don't have to see it. Show us that monstrosity every single year. No one wants to see that.
Right.
But it also says we got upcoming content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla they're going to show. Yeah, I don't care about that.
Who does?
What is Riders Republic? I feel like
I've
heard of that before.
That is it's the one where they have like, it's like extreme sports, so they have like bike riding. They got the
pass.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different sports tied together. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different things. Like they had skateboarding, skiing. It's like a whole bunch of different things, man. It actually looked pretty good. I forget who event it was shown at last year. I think it was actually shown at PlayStation's event, their digital event last year.
Why are you showing this horrible gameplay of us dying?
Because
this is about to.
Well, I just want people to understand that this is my first time playing Gears 5 in like 7 years because I haven't played a Gears game.
Like 7 times in this gameplay. This is like, look.
Hey, listen, we just gonna let people know that we're gonna let people know that we're normal people. Like, guess what?
It's not indicative of how I play Gears.
The one thing you'll notice about this gameplay is I always hit the melee button because I'm so used to my buttons being flipped. Like, I'm used to A being one thing and B being another because I use the paddles on my Elite controller.
You literally just did it.
Because I'm always I'm like, why am I melee? And I'm like, oh, because I got my button configuration set to Destiny configuration, which is the complete opposite of Gears of War. But let's be for real. This game was fun, and
was I playing Jack?
You were playing Jack in this game. Yeah, you were playing Jack in this game.
No, I was killing it.
You just pretty much gameplay. You just let everybody know that you had terrible gameplay at first. No,
I was saving you guys like all the time. Actually, this is me being an MVP. Keep showing that. You show that for the rest of the show. No,
the rest of the show.
Anyway, Riders Republic. Nah, I'm not checking for that. I'm even surprised that was like headlining like one of the
Well,
big
they don't
things
have.
they
Well,
want to do.
they don't. That's the thing, though. Most of the games that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to aren't going to make it this year. So when a game like Riders Republic can actually make the cut, you gonna talk about it.
Right.
So,
And
but
shout out to Fear Avenger in the chat. He said apparently JD's voice actor leaked that they are doing another Gears 5 DLC or something related. You know what? We can talk about spoilers at this point because Gears 5 is like 2 years old, right? So
I just came across Revelations playing the game in this gameplay. I was like, what? What's going on here?
So interesting that JD's voice actor is even in it, considering that
What? Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, so it's like
don't know who you guys picked.
He may not even be in some people's, but I guess that would make sense. And so this will actually be DLC that extends the story further. That's interesting.
Well, we did say though, depending on what direction they go with the new Gears of War, there has to be a canon in there. What is the canon? What part is going to be canon?
Well, this is what I think they'll do. So for those two characters where there's a potential that one of them is a corpse and can't be continued further in the story, whoever survived, I don't think is going to be an influential character in the future. Very much how like in Mass Effect, for example, in Mass Effect 1, you have the opportunity to kill Rex.
Right.
Going forward, if Rex survives, because there's a chance you could have killed them, he's never a crew member for you for Mass Effect 2 and 3. Also, with all of your crew, with the majority of your crew for Mass Effect 2, because of that suicide mission where they all could die.
Yeah.
That's why in Mass Effect 3, none of them are crew members, really. For the most part, almost none of them are crew members. And if they survive, you'll get a mission with them, but that's it. And then you could be able to talk to them at the end of the game and do your goodbyes or whatever. So I think Gears would do something similar to kind of keep that continuity, that whoever survived would be like the person at the base that you go talk to. Kind of like now, there will be more of a super support role the way Baird is, the way Coltrane is. They're not part of your team anymore, but you'll run into them, talk to them, and maybe they'll fight along with you for a little bit, but it's not going to be nothing where they're part of the actual squad that does the campaign with you anymore.
Right. No, Racer says it's Gears. Do you really have to worry about canon? Some steroid up dude shooting things. Someone might die. Aliens bad. Repeat and rinse.
Racer's being very dismissive of the Gears story.
He is.
Like the Gears story. Like that's been what I have primarily enjoyed. I know there are a lot of people. Most people seem to be very much into the Gears PvP. I was always big on the Gears story. I read the books. They're good, Racer. They're good books. So yeah, I read all the books. I played all the original trilogy multiple times. My favorite is Gears 3 because all those extra characters, the people was like, who the heck is Jace? I knew who Jace was. I read about Jace in the books. So I knew about all that stuff already. So I like the Gears story. And maybe I'm in the minority, but I like it.
No, I think, like I told you when we were playing it, I was like, that was the main thing I said. I think a lot of people give Gears crap just because it's part of the formulated, Halo, Gears, and Forza. And most of the people don't even play the game. They just give it crap because it's like the fifth or sixth game in the entry in the game, and Microsoft doesn't know how to make anything new that brings people in. And I'm like, well, if you actually played the game, because I've been a Destiny stan for this whole last generation, so I'm finally getting a chance to catch up on games I didn't get a chance to play. It's fun. Like, It reminds me of Gears 1, 2. I mean, it's not Gears 1, 2, and 3, but you know, I still felt the same way when I played those games. I was like, yo, this is just
better
Gears.
than Gears 4.
Oh, it's way better than Gears 4. I mean,
It's better than Gears 4.
I mean, it's better than Judgment too.
Well, all the Gears.
All the Gears are better than Judgment. Here comes another battle arena. That's what we're going to be doing. But no, I think a lot of people, if you haven't got a chance to play it, it's in Game Pass. It's everywhere. You know, even if you don't want to sign up for Game Pass, you could probably get it for $5 or $10.
For the love of God, play High Busters. Okay?
Yeah, please play it. We don't need to be unlocking legendary achievements by opening doors. We don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I've played through High Busters twice already. Okay, the first time I played through it back in December or January, 2%. By the time I hit like maybe chapter 2 of High Busters, 2% of people who had actually who played Gears had actually finished that. 2%. Mm-hmm. When I played it again with Taz, and shout out to Taz in the chat. When I played it with Taz, 3%, and that was a few weeks ago. So you're telling me from January to May, only another 1% of the people who've played Gears has played Hive Busters? Look, I'm sorry. Look, if you've got Game Pass and you haven't played Hive Busters, I'm looking at you sideways. Just straight up. Like I don't know what you're doing with your Game Pass, but you clearly don't understand what quality is. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right. So yeah, Ubisoft Forward. If you're interested in that, please let us know down in the comment section.
Clearly went on a massive tangent.
Yeah, we did.
Ubisoft Forward.
Ubisoft Forward. Yeah, because it was definitely about Ubisoft Forward, and we just went into other things, which we do a lot on this show. So let's put a bow into that one, and let's move on to something I know a lot of people want to hear our opinions on, and it's Horizon Forbidden West. And all right, let's just open it up. What do you think about female characters and how they're portrayed in gaming, Slow-Mo? Just give me your quick overview of it.
Okay, well, kind of direct me with that question a little bit better. So
all right, so you seen the pictures,
female characters.
Yeah, do you how they're portrayed in their looks, in their appearance, stuff like that? How do you feel about that?
I really don't care.
Okay.
I don't care about how females look in games. I don't care if they are portrayed to look sexy. I don't care if they're portrayed to look like a dog or however you want to call someone that is not attractive. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I never want to limit the creativity of the artists that work on games. So if they want to make a character that looks like the characters in Bleeding Edge. Now, like I've talked multiple times about how I thought the character models in Bleeding Edge were hideous and that was a mistake. And I felt like if you make a hero shooter, you need to make characters that people want to look at. Now, of course, Overwatch does a great job at that. And of course, if you Google Overwatch pics, you're probably going to end up seeing some stuff that you didn't intend to see. And that comes up with the territory. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of fan service to kind of keep people engaged. That's fine. But I would never want to tell like the developers at Ninja Theory, don't make a character look like that. That's what you want. And they're very unique looking characters whatsoever. Yeah. All of them. Extremely, you never see any other characters look like that. And they definitely wanted, that's the effect they wanted. They wanted the characters to all look different. Right. And they did. I don't think it worked out. I think it actually hurt the game. Now that said, I don't really want to limit anyone's creativity. And so when it comes to this situation, which is Aloy and people complaining about how Aloy looks, first of all, if you are really upset about how a character looked in one screenshot of a screen grab of actual moving gameplay or a cutscene,
right?
think you might need to
Here we
take
go.
a step back, look in the mirror, think about what you're really upset about. And I know where we're going to go with this. And there's a particular tweet that was talking about this, and a particular tweet that wanted Aloy to look a different way. Excuse me, a different way.
Yeah.
And the way this tweet wanted Aloy to look, I think would have been terrible for the game.
Yeah.
Here's why. The look of this other fan-made reimagining of Aloy looked like somebody went to Photoshop and took an actual picture of someone else and just Photoshopped it over Aloy's face.
Mm-hmm.
And this person would have had makeup on and like eyeliner or whatever the heck else women put on their face. And if anyone has played Horizon Zero Dawn, you tell me where in post-apocalyptic Horizon Zero Dawn's world where Aloy would have found some makeup. Where she would have learned to apply said makeup when she was raised by her adopted father as an outcast, both of them. How does that make any sense whatsoever? Like, people are judging things way too harshly.
Right.
People are saying she looks fat. I'm looking at the gameplay that you're showing right now. She doesn't look fat.
No.
It does. It's just like it's silly stupidity that is really kind of cringe, and it really makes you kind of wonder, like not wonder, but kind of like.
Oh, you're right. It makes people
shake
wonder.
Your head. Well, no, I mean, like, because we always get upset when people who aren't gamers talk about us as gamers a certain way. Y'all some weirdos for playing games the way y'all do. Y'all are, all kinds of other adjectives and terms for people who are gamers, and they're all stereotypes based upon a certain segment of the gaming community. But it's always stuff like this that people point to. And what can you say when people have these kind of opinions about pixels, a collection of pixels in a video game? It's just, stop, man. It's not that serious. It's just not that serious at all. If you don't like the way Aloy looks, if you would prefer she look like a Lara Croft, or you would prefer she looks like the chick from Bayonetta, or whatever the heck you would prefer. If you want to play Dead or Alive volleyball,
oh Lord,
you play them games, okay? And you do whatever you do in your own privacy of your home with those games. But please stop putting that stuff all over the internet, because I'm tired of seeing it. Forte, you can take the floor, man. I'm done. I'm done ranting.
No, it was interesting. The biggest thing that I was looking at, I was like, I said it on Brap yesterday. I was like, man, how can I understand what people are saying, but I'm like, because I always try to find both sides of the scenario, trying to have that conversation, because, people are, they can have they have a right to their opinion. So if that's what your opinion is, that's what your opinion is. I kind of want to understand what your opinion is. And the more I looked into it, I was like, no, man, this, I said, first, like, listen, there are some things, if you feel like this is how I feel, or this is how you think you should feel, you probably shouldn't share that amongst the rest of the community, knowing that it's going to probably start something. And then when you see the firestorm that happened, and then you want to start attacking other people inside of that comment section about, saying that was my opinion, and, people out here upset because, I have an opinion and I don't want to play as this and I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, you're kind of doing the same thing that you say you don't like doing by basically telling people that you're an a-hole and all this other stuff for basically having this opinion and stuff. But overall, it's pixels on a screen. Everybody can't be Lara Croft. Everybody can't be, everybody can't be Miranda Lawson. Even though they changed Miranda Lawson's, they did more than just can't change the camera angle slow-mo on Miranda Lawson. Let's just be for real about that. But
Yeah, they did.
they definitely changed more.
Some dimension changes.
They definitely changed some more. I was like,
which also I kind of feel like, you know what? That was the original BioWare Mass Effect team's vision for Miranda Lawson, and I actually have a problem with them changing that.
I do
because
too.
That was that artist's original vision for that character. Not only is, and that maybe some, you know, with BioWare that was doing that remaster felt differently, but that's what your former employees thought of that, how that character should look. Why are you changing that? Is it because you feel some kind of way about Miranda? I mean, let's keep it a buck, right?
Yeah.
Why is it you got a problem with the way Miranda looks, but you don't have a problem with the way Matriarch Benezia looks in Mass Effect 1? She got her tatas, her blue tatas all hanging out. You didn't have a problem with that, right?
No problem.
You didn't have a problem with all of the other characters in the game and how they look. What about Samara or and Miranda and how they look and how sexual they are? You don't have a problem with that. What about Edie in Mass Effect 3, who is an android, you know, a voluptuous android with no clothes on whatsoever? Zero people complaining about that. And I look and no, you didn't change that, but you just only changed Miranda. Probably because a whole bunch of weirdos on the internet are gawking at Miranda, and you got a problem with it. It just seems like some people have some deep-seated personal issues they need to get worked out. But my bad.
Well, no, you're good. No, you're good. But it's the same people.
I mean, for me, I'm always going back to the original artist's creative vision for that character. If they're going to be, you know, looking like Miranda Lawson or looking like Aloy, I never want to change the way that artist wanted that character to look. And that's
right. And that's how I feel about the situation. You know, it's just like people are going to be weird. They're going to, you know, do things like how Overwatch is just overly portrayed across all types of websites on how they sexualize their characters, and that's just what people are going to decide to do. But I guess just because Aloy isn't one of those characters that they feel like, man, we can't even work with this skeleton structure or the facial expressions they give her. It don't look like, she don't even look like a girl, you know, whatever, man. It's, you miss me with all that, man. It's, the thing is, when I was watching the gameplay, I didn't even notice what she looked like until someone blew up a screenshot of her and put it to 200% and zoomed in on her face. And the other thing is, I'm looking at this gameplay and okay, she's a little bit bigger than she was in the first one, like slightly. She doesn't look like she's overweight or anything like that. She looks like a person that's been kind of in this world for however long it's been between games, and she's bulked up a little bit. You know, she ain't the little girl she was, you know, however long the last Horizon was. And, you know, maybe sometimes people need to kind of think about it that way, but it's stupid to me. People just want to complain just to complain about little things like this, you know, and who knows, it's Xbox people, it's PlayStation people talking about it. So it's not mutually exclusive to any particular platform or people talking about it. I just think if you feel like you don't want to jive with the direction that they went with the character design in some of these games, then kind of just kindly move on and go look at something else, because the people that play games, all we care about is how does the game play? Does that look good? Is the experience that we're hoping that we get from this game indicative to the kind of type of gameplay we like to see in a game? And if all those boxes are checked, that's all that matters. And then, you know, and in the end, you might get something that looks really good on screen. But guess what? If the developers don't use that as a selling point in their game, then why should you care about it? You know, I think the reason Mass Effect went the direction they went is because they have romance stories for all those characters and stuff. So, you know, obviously they say, well, we got some that probably don't look all that good, but we got some that look really, really good. And that's why Miranda was probably one of the most liked people in the game when it comes to trying to romance them and stuff, because it's Miranda. So who cares? But ultimately it's a non-issue for me. But moving on for that with Horizon Zero Dawn.
I did want to say that, and Hustle said there's a 6-month time difference between Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. So
it's only 6 months.
Physically change that much. She doesn't look that much different to me at all.
Yeah, she doesn't look
And
different
I
like
literally
that.
just finished Horizon Zero Dawn on PC last week, and she doesn't look that different to me at all. What I see is there's way more detail added to her hair,
Yeah.
her face. She's got more there's actual more imperfections to her skin and added freckles and things like that that real people have. With the game, and clearly they're showing this on PS5.
Yeah.
When you have better hardware to do more things like that, then they're going to add more details like that. You didn't see any of that on the original game because they weren't, it was designed around really, really outdated old hardware.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that. So, moving on for that, we're gonna stick with Horizon Zero Dawn. Slow-mo, when you watch this gameplay, it was pretty much confirmed that it was running at 30 frames per second. They didn't show it at 60. They wanted to show, this is how they do. They want to show off the graphical fidelity of the game. They want you to see all the eye candy. They want you to see the ray tracing and the colors pop off the screen. And people were kind of concerned about 30 frames per second. And why are we buying PS5s and Xbox Series X's if we're going to be still willing in the fact that we're going to be playing our games at a meager 30 frames per second? But what do you have to say to those people, Slow-mo, when they come out and say that, no, Horizon Zero Dawn will have a 60 frames per second mode? I don't know why y'all thought any different. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so when I saw people on Twitter saying this, and I was actually shocked that people thought simply because the game was running at 30 frames per second on a stream, that therefore the game would be in 30 frames per second, considering the fact that literally every Sony first party game that has released on the PlayStation 5 has had 60 frames per second. I just thought that was odd. Maybe I thought that was people kind of, I have this saying about, and I saw some very smart people saying stuff like that, and my saying is fanboyism rots the brain.
Oh, good one.
It rots the brain because it makes very smart people say very stupid things. Like, think for a moment. And I even put a tweet out saying, like did y'all sniff gas fumes as a kid or something? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, why would you think this game wouldn't have a 60 frames per second mode?
Mm.
And considering how the Decima engine is, I think there probably will be a 4K ray tracing, all the bells and whistles mode at 30 frames per second. Filmic, wherever you want to call it, right?
Filmic.
And then there will be a dynamic 4K, no ray tracing, probably slightly lower graphical settings mode at 60 frames per second. And that's the one I'm going to play. But they're going to do that because that's typically what they've done for all the games that have come out. Initially with Miles Morales, that was what we got, and then they added a mode with ray tracing that wasn't as extensive as the quality mode, but still had a little bit of ray tracing in it. But that's what you're going to get. And thinking this was just going to be at 30 frames per second, I think it might have been a little bit of wishful thinking for some people who are a little too caught up in the console war.
Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't even think this was going to be a thing, especially when every game that PlayStation has released has had a 60 frame per second option. I like the way that she dove out of the way. Did you notice when she dives with the axe? Well, not the axe, but with the either if she has the bow or she has the staff in her hand, she tucks it underneath her shoulder or underneath her armpit when she rolls. So they like actually put an animation in there to show when she rolls out of the way that no matter what weapon she has, it's a different animation for that weapon. I thought that was really, really cool. Cause I just see, every time I see it, I'm impressed because it's an attention to detail that most studios don't go above and beyond to do. They feel like, oh, this animation can kind of hide other animations.
I feel like they did that with the first game, though.
They probably did. They probably did.
I think I recall seeing that when I was playing through the first game.
Yeah, they probably did. But when it comes to like, well, and that also just goes back to, for me, back to fidelity versus gameplay or performance. Performance will always be, for me, the best way to play a game. Like, I don't even play on my 4K TV no more. I play on my 1440p 144 hertz monitor right now because I want to play pretty much every game that Xbox has. I try to play at 120 frames per second, even Battlefield 4 when it plays at 720p, you know, but guarantee you that 720p plays really well when you're playing at 120 frames per second. But for me, this is just more reasons for people to just feel like they wanted to get mad or upset about something. And don't get me wrong, I kind of get people that have PS5s and stuff where maybe they're not in the know like most of us are when it comes to having these conversations like, oh yeah, all these games are definitely going to end up having it, because guess what? Every game to this point has had an option
but
for
most
it.
people who aren't in the know don't even know what frame rate per second is. Like they don't even know what that means.
They're still being educated on it.
Yeah, they just understand that like when a game's in 60 frames per second, they just know, oh, that looks smooth. It's smoother. They don't know why though.
Right.
It feels like it moves faster. Like
right.
that's all they know. They don't know why that is. And it looks better, of course. But they don't get why, and so they don't care about that. I don't think like the people who aren't really into this stuff the way we are, the way everyone who's watching the show right now, everyone who'll be listening on the replay care about that kind of stuff. I don't think anyone else even knows what the hell ray tracing is.
No.
They may know what 4K resolution is because they got 4K TVs, but 1440p, what is that? Like that's not a resolution that they're aware of, you know?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Like when I was watching this trailer, and you know, I'm a huge frame rate person. When I was watching this trailer, I didn't even really think about the performance of the game. And like the only time you really see the performance, like, is when you see like Halo, when you saw pop in, or you see screen tearing in the middle of the presentation, or you see kind of frame skips. There was a little bit of that. Trailer. I did see it. Yeah, we did, like, especially when the mammoth went through the wall and stuff. I was like, oh, there goes a frame pace.
Right. But there's a point in time where like the grass that she's in, or the grass that you see, where there was like a little like. One frame later, there was like significantly less grass in the area, like when the mammoth was walking away and they had taken her friend from the car away.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a little bit less, and so there were little things but it wasn't as jarring or as easy to spot as it was with like the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal from last year.
Oh, but whatever, you can spot that from a mile away.
Yeah,
literally
the pop in of the clouds when you were going up that elevator was hard to miss.
Yeah, it was very hard to miss. So I think in general, I really want to know what this is. It's like an ultimate move that she has, because she has a bar that fills up that you build up over time to get it, which is a new gameplay mechanic. I'm wondering if that's going to be something like, it's going to be like an attachment or a upgrade that you can kind of switch out. It would be different abilities that you could get that will give you that type of, it's not just one set ultimate. And I hope. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was like, yeah, that clearly is that move where it went into an animation, and I've seen some people say they didn't like that because it reminded them of like a fighting game where you would kind of go into like doing an ultimate or something like that. And I get it, but it's not like it's something that you can spam you
have to build it up, because the bar disappears as soon as you use it. The bar disappears. So
right. So it's only something that you can use from time to time, and it's just an added wrinkle to the gameplay.
Yeah, I just hope that with them having that, is something that you slot into the staff, Or it could be just they showed it with the staff. It could be any weapon that you are actually holding at that point. I just hope that there's ways to upgrade it, to change it, and maybe there's different ways. Maybe I'm asking for too much, but I think the one thing I did know is like, man, if you have to do that animation and this is the only one you have every time, it could get real stale. But I think there'll probably be new ones. And I think there'll be more too. That's what I think as a person that would see.
I can see it
something
changing.
Like that.
I can see it changing by the kind of weapon that you have.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The weapon would be something different.
So if you have, like, in the first game, she would have she had the bow and arrow. She had her staff. She had different kinds of bow and arrows too, like the long draw ones that are slower to draw, but they did more damage, and the quick ones that were easier to to hit more volume, but they did less damage. There was the not the boomerang, but it's forgot. It's with the why I can't think of this, like the rock and the little, like it's I can't remember the name. But it's different. She had different weapons. Different weapons, right?
Yeah.
So there's different animations for those weapons. I can see them like extending beyond that, where if you're using a particular weapon at that time and your meter is filled, then it would do a animation or a finisher or something that is related to what that was. So that would make sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. I think overall it's gonna be fun, and I think a lot of people are really looking forward to it. Do you think it's going to come out this year, or do you think it's going to be next year? If you had to put, if you had to stake to it, man, what do you think?
When I first saw it, because they normally do these kind of state of play specifically for a particular game very close to launch, I thought like, well, this is probably going to come out in like August or sometime this summer or something.
Right.
But when Herman Holst said in the interview that it's slated for holiday 2021, now I'm kind of thinking, and it might get delayed into the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
And that might actually, like, I'm never against a delay. If a game needs to be delayed, delay it, please. Like, I would rather a game be delayed than that game come out and there's issues, because it always impacts the experience of the game when there's issues like that. And so if it needs to be delayed so that I'm not, wondering why my game crashed the 5th time, then so be it. So, so I'll say probably first quarter of 2022. That would make sense to me.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, let us know in the comment section what you guys think about Horizon Zero Dawn. What do you think about Aloy? What do you think about the whole controversy that's going on with the character and everything? And when do you think it's coming out? Moving on to the next topic, we got PlayStation changes their minds on generations. And to me, this is funny. I don't know how funny it is to you, Slow-Mo, but to me, this is something that I saw a mile away. First of all, do you think the direction that PlayStation is going on in right now, do you think it's a good move, or do you think it's something that they probably needed to? Well, I think everybody feels like they needed to communicate it better, but do you think they should have done something different, stuck with the plan that they had in place, or do you think this is a good move for PlayStation?
I think the only thing they need to not do was to not try to capitalize on the PR nightmare that Xbox was going through in regards to them announcing last year that they were supporting last generation for 2 years. And if you remember back then, people was like, oh, so there's going to be no actual exclusive games on the Xbox Series consoles and PC, not being hindered by in game design by the old generation of consoles until like 2022. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
And not too long after that, that's when Jim Ryan came out saying we believe in generations. And so even though I'm not saying, it seemed like he didn't. If you look at his actual quote, it seems really lying, but he's definitely stretching the truth a little bit, and he's definitely saying it at that point, at that time, for a reason, because and Jim Ryan's known for this. It's countering the going narrative about their competition right now. He's done it before, and so, and now it's kind of coming to bite them in the butt, because they intentionally showed, when they first showed Miles Morales, they didn't say anything about Miles Morales being on PlayStation 4. So you couple that with them also saying we believe in generations, and many people in the PlayStation community were like, Miles Morales is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I thought so as well. I thought it was an exclusive until they came out with their later show later last year and didn't even say it during the show. It was revealed after the fact that it was PlayStation 4, like an afterthought. And so they definitely tried to give this impression that wasn't the case. But business-wise, I got no problem with it whatsoever. If you look at the games that are still going to be on PlayStation 4, they're all of their bigger, more popular titles that they know are going to sell a lot of money.
Right.
They know they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to have a lot of sales. You're looking at, think about all these games here. First mainline Gran Turismo in over a generation.
Yeah, because it was just GT Sport. It wasn't a number series.
Right. You got the sequel to Game of the Year God of War. You got the sequel to Spider-Man that sold like ridiculous amounts of money and was a system seller for them. You got the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, which was probably one of their most successful first like new IP releases last generation. Why would they not put that on the platform that has 120 million consoles? The thing about the games that have been exclusive. Returnal, new IP from a small AA developer doing their first AAA game. Yeah, make that exclusive. We don't think that was going to sell game busters anyway.
Right.
Destruction All-Stars. We know how that turned out. And Demon Souls, that, by the way, even though Demon Souls is popular in the hardcore gamer community, it's a very difficult kind of game, and casuals don't typically tend to like those games. And Demon Souls games don't really sell like the way that Sony PlayStation first-party games sell anyway. So, of course, you make that game exclusive to PlayStation 5. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Did the Ratchet and Clank on PS4 like sell 10 plus million copies? I don't think so. So like this is where they pick and chose. They took the ones they knew that were going to be their big time sellers. They're going to be, when you look at annual NPDs and all the other sales charts, they're going to be right there over all platforms, top 10 guaranteed. They made sure that those were on all platforms.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's the way it works. It's a business decision, and I get it. I got no problem with it. My only issue, and it's the reason why I tweeted the way I did about when I said that Jim Ryan says he believes in generations in 2023, because that's that you gave that impression, and whether it was intentional or not, it was the impression that you gave to your community. And some of them are upset because you let that impression fester until it turned into that's the truth. And now when they saw it differently, they feel betrayed.
You know what the funny thing is about the whole situation, though, to me? It's that most of the people that are really talking about this are people that were consistently talking about, especially with Xbox, where they were saying, oh, Phil Spencer lied about this, he lied about that, he said VR was coming and they're not coming, he said that these games were coming and these games aren't coming. First of all, let's be, I said this on I said this on Scumcast, and I also said this during Luca's Scum on One that she had the other day. It was mostly due to the fact that people just don't understand it. Execs will tell you what you need to know when it comes to what they want, not what you need to know, but what they need to tell you in order to get into their ecosystem and into their platform. They are out here trying to make money. They are out here trying to sell you on a platform that if you buy it, it's because you felt like it was a benefit to you. Now, I think, Xbox has done different things throughout the generation that people didn't like, but they have been very transparent throughout the latter parts of the generation where people know and what to expect from Xbox, and they're doing a really great job of that. And like Slomo just said, I think ultimately what the problem is, people just aren't used to Sony acting this way. Because right now, people always try to throw in your face or throw in people's face that, Sony's the best place to play. Sony cares about the players. But that shield is being cracked a little bit. There's a little bit of the armor isn't holding on as tight as your body as it used to compared to last generation. There's some chinks in that armor now. But ultimately, what did you expect to happen when it came to, first of all, COVID being a huge thing that's happening? And I don't even think COVID was the reason that these changes happened. I think these changes were in the works well before, because
this has nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with COVID.
People trying to say that this has nothing to do with COVID whatsoever. The decision to put a game on the weaker platform is made well before you get into deep development, because that's a game design decision. That's something that you can't say, or we're gonna build a game around, design a game around the PlayStation 5. When back in 2017, where some of these games started development, they didn't even know what to build towards, because none of that stuff was actually permanent ideas in the Sony executives' head of what we were actually going to have the specs be. So you didn't know that yet then. But so that's just not how it works. And even if you did and then decide that, okay, let's put this on PlayStation 4. Well, what if you got really, creative? What if you decided to have a lot of stuff in the game that would have pushed the limits of the hardware on a game design perspective, not graphics. We're not talking about visuals. Game design, which is like more enemies on the screen.
Right.
Which is like bigger actual maps with more going on inside of those maps. That kind of stuff. What if you decided to do that? Well, then now you got to go back and start taking stuff out because you need to make it run on hardware that was even considered old in 2013 when it was released.
Right.
So that's not how it works. They know what they're going to design for from the start, and then they get to working on it. And no, I'm not a developer, but if I've listened to developers talk about this before, and that's everything that they say. They're being consistent about it. So it just doesn't work that way. This wasn't COVID related, because when they started making the game, COVID wasn't even a thing yet.
Right. No, you're right. I think
we have a super chat.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Chris Jones with the $10 super chat. Appreciate it, bro. Says, I appreciate both of you guys and the knowledge you bring. Appreciate Slow-Mo more. He talks to me on Twitter. Shout out to the homeboy C Unit 123. That's his stuff on Twitter. So if you guys want to follow, that's where you can do it. Appreciate all you do with the videos and podcasts and everything. I already just followed you on there. Slow-Mo, this is the one thing I will say about Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo is very, very interactive on Twitter when it comes to like just having communication with people on a consistent basis. I try to look at Twitter as much as I can, but half the time I'm at work during the day, and then when I come home from work, I just want to play games. So definitely, if you guys reach out, just send me DMs or hit me up on Twitter. I'll definitely respond to you when I get a chance to see it. But yeah, Slow-Mo's way better than me at that. I am not going to hold you up.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Chris Jones. We appreciate the support, bro. And I like talking to him on Twitter. He's always got interesting dialogue and questions and stuff. And yeah, I'm always, because I work from home, so I'm
He
I
always
got
got a Twitter. He always got his Twitter account up on his extra screen.
right. Look, I call it work and play. I literally have 5 monitors on my desk in my office. 3 of them are for work, and 2 of them are for everything else. So the left side, I got my gaming PC in the middle of my desk. I got like an L-shaped desk, and then in the middle is my gaming PC. On the right is my work laptop. My laptop screen and 2 additional monitors connected to my cradle. And then on the left, I got my 2 monitors connected to my PC. So it's literally, I got every screen up. I'm working. I'm on Twitter. I'm watching Netflix. Look, as long as I get work done, that's all that matters, right? So, I'm always active. I'm always on there. So yeah. It's good. It's good. It's good to be able to talk to everybody all the time and see stuff. That's why I'm always retweeting things I see. Almost immediately after like some news breaks, because I'm always looking.
Trying to get that conversation started, man. We got to get you more followers out here.
I'm good, man.
The followers I got more than me.
The followers I got is fine with me. I don't care about none of that crap. Whether I got 1,300
I care for you, slow mo.
13,000. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, you got 13,000 tweets. I do know that much. Because you tweet a lot. N7 operator slow mo. How many tweets you got? 13,700.
Man, look, but stop shouting out my stats, man. Come on.
It's out there for anybody to see. 13,700 compared to my 7,995. Double the stats. That's what I'm talking about. That's called a flawless victory right there, gentlemen. That's what that's called. Slow-mo killed me. But no. So when it comes to the whole PlayStation change their mind thing, it's unfortunate. I think a lot of people went into this generation, especially with PlayStation coming out saying that we believe in generations, and that was all basically just because Microsoft came out with the stance that all our games are going to be played everywhere, and they was trying to find a way to tap into that whole E3 2013 thing where, oh, you want to learn how to play, this is how you share your games thing. They kind of wanted to try to tie into that again, but the biggest difference is that's not going to work this time around, because now you're physically telling people that these games are going to be on this platform. But we told people when Miles Morales happened, we was like, do you think this is the last game that's going to do it? No. And I don't know why people thought that was going to be the case going forward with this. And the funny thing is, who knows when we're actually, because after Ratchet,
people believe these executives.
They do.
I don't know why y'all be believing these executives and everything that they say. They are not your friends.
So when are
They will tell you whatever they need to tell you in the moment to sell you a product, because you're a customer. You're not their buddy.
Yeah.
Y'all don't go to the country club and play golf together. You're not hitting the bowling alley. You're not hitting the basketball court. You're not invited to their house for the cookout. You don't get to eat their ribs. No, y'all not cool like that.
Yeah, they're cool. So Ratchet and Clank is the next PlayStation 5 exclusive game that's only on PlayStation 5. When do you think how long you think it's going to be until we actually see the next game? Because as of right now, let's be for real. Herman Holtz, he really didn't confirm that these games are only going to be on PS5, but it's the way he said it, it's kind of applied that that's what it's going to be. Because I don't think he would have worded it the way he worded it if that was the case. But when do you think we're actually going to see another PS5 exclusive game? Because as of right now, Ratchet and Clank is the last one that we know of. I know it's kind of crazy when you think about it like that, isn't it?
Well, you know what? We're probably, I don't know, I can't think of any right now, but we're probably going to know more
in July at their event.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're doing July. I
think
saw something that said it might be late
July.
June.
Oh, it might be late June. Okay, it might be late June. I thought it
So
was
I
July.
think that might be. Well, just look at that Blaze's comment in the chat. What is going on with Blaze? What's up, Blaze? I think I'm not certain, but I think we'll probably find out when their next actual like PS5 exclusive not going to be. Matter of fact, I kind of feel like anything that they announce going forward that will be out after Gran Turismo 7 is going to be just on PlayStation 5. I don't think anything else is going to be PlayStation 4, because if it was, then we would see it.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Erodimus with the $5 super chat. Forte tweets me bad news all the time, and I think Slow Mo got me muted.
Erodimus, I do not have you muted. I don't. I haven't seen Erodimus tweet. I can't think of the last time I saw one of Erodimus tweets. So maybe I just haven't seen it.
He tweeted today.
Maybe I just didn't see it. I don't have him muted though.
Are you trying to say that you don't have all notifications turned on for the homeboy Erodimus?
I don't think I have notifications turned on for him, but I definitely know I don't have him muted. Okay. I know that for certain.
Erodimus, you the homeboy. I got your back. I make sure whenever you Slow Mo, whenever you tweet something, I'm just gonna send it to I'm gonna send it to Slow Mo in the DMs like, hey, your boy just tweeted.
It looks like all he's asking you to do is stop sending him bad news all the time. So
listen, man, that was bad news all the way around this morning. It was like we had to dodge that was a bullet that was dodged, even knowing the bullet kind of came back around at 4:00. It's like wanted out here, man. It's crazy. Diamond hands. Let's go.
But Blaze 4K wants to know when we seeing one Xbox game.
We June 13th, sir. June 13th. Now the bigger question is, when are we going to
see more than one on June 13th?
Yeah, we're going to see a couple on June 13th.
It'll probably just be a CGI trailer.
Right, exactly.
No gameplay, but you probably see more than one.
But I don't think you'll ever see just a Xbox game anymore, because Xbox games play on PC too, so you play them anywhere. Why you
Mr. Xbox says, isn't Deathloop PS5 only? Deathloop is a timed exclusive for the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's not
5, and it will be on the Xbox after, I don't know what time period it is, 6 months, a year, or whatever. But it's also, I think
they said it was a year.
Day and date. It's a year?
I think they said it's a year. It's on PC too.
Yeah, but it's day and date going to be on PC, and I would say probably going to end up being on Game Pass day and date as well.
Is Kenna, is that on PS4? I know it's on PC. Is it also PS4? Is it PS4 too?
It's on PS4 and PS5 and PC.
PC day one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that one is timed exclusive too, but it's one of those timed exclusive deals where they can't even acknowledge that an Xbox exists.
What's a Xbox controller?
What's an Xbox? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, about the PlayStation, like one of those deals.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I know there's games coming like Deathloop. I know there's games coming to PS5. It's just the fact that I think what probably the bigger question is when because they came out and said in Jim Ryan said 2013, 2014, that's how far they're pretty much supporting PlayStation 4 for. So is that
kind of a longer period of time than Xbox said they were supporting the Xbox One?
Yeah, they were way longer. I mean, at least they did give that junk a cutoff point. But I just think that for me, this may speak to more than just the games themselves. Because the one thing I will say, I don't think COVID really is the reason that they made these decisions when it comes to releasing these games only on both platforms. I think that was already in the works. I do think COVID has a very strong emphasis on how long they're going to do it for, though, because part of me feels like they actually announced Gran Turismo as a PS5 exclusive game, saying it was built from the ground up for PS5, and they did that 5 months ago.
Did they say it was built for the ground?
They did.
Up
If you go look at the article that Jim Ryan talked on, or it might have been Herman Holtzman. Yeah, for Gran Turismo 7. Yeah, they said that. They said that game was built from the ground up for PS5, and that it was coming exclusively to the PS5.
Racing game. I'm not gonna look. Let me not say they're easy to make, but
come on, we're not gonna do this slow mo.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
There's nothing in game development that's easy.
Yes,
but it's a racing game.
It's still, but that's what I'm not saying.
You're track with cars.
Well, no, I'm not. I agree.
The cars look prettier.
Slow-mo, I agree. I agree with Slow-mo. I agree with that. It's just a simple fact that game wasn't coming out this year, and it wasn't coming out probably next year. It's just the fact that game of all, like I like God of War, I kind of figured it would, because they said 2021 on it, and I felt like, okay.
No one believed it was coming out this year.
When I saw it, I was like, that's okay. First of all, that's not coming out this year. Second of all, that's going to be on all platforms or PlayStation platforms, because it's not enough time for them to completely revamp that game to be what it needs, what it wants to be on PlayStation 5 only.
It took them 6 years to make the previous God of War. So you telling me in 3 years you've made a full-on sequel? I knew it was
and took advantage of the platform fully.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I knew it was going to be likely a shorter experience. It will come out. It will be a cross-gen game. It will be a shorter experience, similar to how Miles Morales is a shorter experience to Spider-Man 2018. And the fact that if a game is supposed to come out late 2021, you showed it late 2020, and all you got is a teaser.
Right.
You couldn't even show me Kratos. You couldn't show me anything.
Right.
Nah, that game it's not coming out in 2021. Come on. I mean, it's just based off of that alone, I was like, this is definitely that's like a best case scenario. But more than likely, it's going to get delayed into 2022.
Yeah. Def the Kid says PlayStation just copying everything Xbox is doing. So when it comes to that, the funny thing is, you might be right, but that's something that all these businesses do. When it comes to PlayStation, well, first of all, Xbox wouldn't have made the moves they made if it wasn't because they felt like they couldn't compete with Sony when it came to how Sony wants to roll when it comes to, bringing their systems out, producing their games. They really couldn't fight on the same terms as PlayStation could. But Xbox said, we're going to change the narrative. We're going to make you fight in an arena that is more conducive to what we want to do, and you're probably not going to be ready to do yet. And right now, you're starting to see that, PlayStation tried to buck the trend for quite some time. They tried to buck the trend with crossplay. They found a solution to fix that when it comes to having developers pay some type of royalty fee if they actually get more engagement on other platforms versus their systems, like they used to. They found a way to say that games are coming to PC now, when we tell people that these games are coming to PC for years now, and they're slowly but surely doing that. They're bringing a whole slate over to PC sooner or later, and now you're seeing the other turn when it comes to games being cross-generational. And it always comes back to, why do people think games are going to be cross-generational not be cross-generational, where the biggest games and biggest franchises on any of these platforms, sports games and Call of Duty, until those games decide to go forward, why would the developers of PlayStation and Xbox want to move forward? Because if the developers on those consoles, on those platforms, feel like there's a lot of money still to be earned and made on these systems, then Sony's going to do it and Xbox is going to do it. I just think, like I said, the biggest thing and the biggest problem I have with the situation is the fact that they were trying to cap for what they wanted to say when it came to we have a messaging. Everybody loves PlayStation's messaging. Well, how do you like that messaging now? Because you're pretty much, eating every little piece of the narrative that you put out there. And now you have a lot of your fan base basically telling you, I don't trust you. And that's a problem. But ultimately, the games is all that's going to matter. Ratchet & Clank comes out in a week. And a lot of people aren't even going to be thinking about this whole games going between both platforms, you know, because Ratchet & Clank is going to be a PlayStation exclusive and it's going to be amazing. And I think that's going to be the conversation for the rest of this month. Let's see what Xbox does on June 13th. Are they going to be able to, you know, change the messaging around their platform in the next, you know, for the next calendar year? Everybody in this chat pretty much hopes so. And I hope so too. But that's a tall task for them to climb at this point. So other than that, Somo, do you have anything else you want to say around this?
No, I'm good, man.
You good? Cool.
We can move on.
All right, so last topic, we got Battlefield 6. EA is doing their they're not even, the funny thing for me, this isn't even going, it's probably going to be at their EA Play event, which is going to be at the end of, I think it's in July. But they're actually showcasing it early in its own event, which is 2 days before the Xbox event. So it could be conspiracy. It might be the fact that I just want this to happen. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Do you think the correlation of Battlefield 6 being shown right before the Xbox conference, which is completely separate from the EA Play event, first of all, are you looking forward to Battlefield? And second of all, do you think that this is kind of a bigger indicator that there's a chance that this could be coming to Xbox Game Pass?
It ain't coming to Xbox Game Pass.
You shooting me down. No,
it's not coming to Game Pass. I don't know why y'all keep thinking this is coming.
I want it there. I'll buy it anyway.
It's not happening. I mean, look, if it would be amazing for Xbox and Game Pass to land that as a day, and it may come to, matter of fact, it's definitely going to come to Game Pass eventually because there's EA Play in Game Pass, and it'll show up in EA Play 6 months after. It will show up in Game Pass and EA Play 6 months after its launch.
That's true.
So you'll get it in Game Pass then, but day and date, nah, I don't see it. Not when you're trying to bring. Okay, so I do believe the Xbox leadership when they say that things like Game Pass provides more engagement for games and it doesn't hurt sales. I do agree with that. I don't think it hurts sales. And I think it's great for games that are like your Outriders, where it's not going to be a publisher's most anticipated game of that year, but it's a game that they believe in and they want to try to get it, like it's a new IP they want to get a lot of eyes on. I think that works for Outriders. But for Battlefield, a game that has a huge fan base, a game that has people that are always looking out for it, been waiting for it to come out, and then it maybe not so many people announced as it was no longer being released annually, and I think it never should have been in the first place, if that's me. But yeah, I think EA thinks that they don't need to put it in Game Pass for it to sell. That they don't need to actually do that, and so they believe in Game Pass for in a way, but they don't believe in it in the same way that Xbox believes in it.
Right.
If that makes sense. And so yeah, I just don't think that the marquee game for EA in 2021 is going to be a day-and-date launch in Game Pass. I think that would be a hard sell for EA to do to their investors.
To me, it ultimately comes down to when is the release date, first of all. Now, if EA wants to get as many people into the funnel as possible day one, putting it in Game Pass will be a great option for them. It will fill up the player pool faster than any other way they could do it, especially if they release it around the same time as Call of Duty, because as of right now, Call of Duty isn't even really Call of Duty sales, but what people play is the free-to-play version of Call of Duty right now, which is Warzone. And as of right now, Battlefield doesn't have anything that could compete with that. I know they had the Ring of Fire that was supposed to come out with Battlefield 5, but they pretty much canceled it. I think they pretty much just said, we're just going to save this for the next generation. They pretty much knew what probably the specs were for these systems way earlier than anybody else. And they said, well, when we release our next Battlefield, we're just going to revamp that Ring of Fire to be a launch entity when it comes to Battlefield 6. And I hope that's what they do, because I think they need it.
You got a dog back there that is angry at something.
I don't know what he is doing. I was just looking at my daughter. I was like, can you go tell the dog to stop barking? He is literally upstairs. He must be looking out his window or something.
He's mad about something.
He's really mad. They probably he probably
that's giving him the finger or whatever. he's like, you want some of the squirrel? You know, he's like he's really upset. I'm just the whole time you were talking, I'm just like that dog ain't stopped.
No, he ain't stopped. He's still going, and I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what this dog is up there doing. Pedro, be quiet. Let's see if he be quiet now. He ain't barking no more, Slow-Mo. You hear him barking anymore, Slow-Mo?
No.
Maybe I should
finally gave him a bone or something.
A bone? He's a Chihuahua, man.
That's a Chihuahua.
That's a Chihuahua.
I didn't. Look, I grew up with a Chihuahua, and my Chihuahua's bark wasn't like that. It was more like I can't imitate it, but it was like on a pitch that was way higher.
It was like.
Yeah, it was up there. Yeah, it was annoying as hell. Like you could not. It was not something you could ignore. You know, it was way louder than that Chihuahua's size. It was way louder
any
than
business being.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Me personally, when it comes to Battlefield, I'm very, very excited for this. This Battlefield is probably, if it might be the second or third most game in hours that I played on Xbox One. I maxed out the multiplayer when it came to getting all the way to the top of the leaderboard when it comes to like how many ranks you can get. And that was when that game was completely busted with Battlefield 4, and I enjoyed every minute of it still. As long as they showcase me something when it comes to modern combat, I'm pretty much in. I don't care about anything else. The maps, the guns, all that stuff is secondary to me. I just want to get back to modern combat because that is what's kind of pushed me away from Battlefield for the last 5 or 6 years. It's just hasn't been interesting to me enough to want to play with the sandbox that they introduced me in. And then on top of that, I've just been a Destiny stand on top of that. So, but will
Battlefield 6 finally force you to stop playing Destiny?
Nothing will stop me from playing Destiny. I just
already knew the answer.
I just have to. I have to be for real about that. You know, it's a game that I identify with the most. Now, I will say this: there was a time in my life when I never thought I would stop playing Warframe, because you see my Warframe counter on PC is well over 1,200 hours, and I thought I would never stop playing that game. But I don't know what happened, I just stopped. And I never went back, and the thought of going back and playing that game, thinking about how far behind I am, is daunting. I remember looking up videos of, you know, I was one of those people. What's the best video? How do you get this? This Warframe? How do you get this gun? How do you do Forma in the game? How do you get the Callus? How do you get the Orcas? How do you do this? You know, I was looking up all those videos back then, and then sooner or later I just said, no, I don't want to do this no more. And just the thought of doing it made me sick to my stomach. So maybe one day that will happen with Destiny. I don't see it happening.
I reached that point years ago.
Yeah, you reached that point years ago. But I will tell you something that can really fast forward that happening, though, that is the possibility of it really happening, and that's Halo Infinite. Because Destiny,
really now,
Halo Infinite is the only thing that can truly pull me off.
You should actually be really excited and not disappointed with what they may be showing, what they're rumored to be showing at the Xbox.
No. Just because I'm excited for them to show multiplayer doesn't change the fact that they need to show people that busted single player that they tried to pull over our eyes almost a year ago. They need to still show that.
All right, I'm just
but I'm with you.
Noticing,
No, I'm with you. Trust me, you know me, man. I am a multiplayer fiend. But just because that multiplayer is what I'm looking forward to, it doesn't change the fact that a lot of people are really looking forward to what they need to show around that single player. And I just think it's a mistake if they don't show it. Ultimately, it's their show, and I'm gonna enjoy the show no matter what. I mean, if it's good, it's good. If it's terrible, it's terrible. We're gonna say it live on this show on the 17th. We might have some special guests. I know we'll have one special guest. We might have two special guests that week. But overall, Halo is the only thing that can really take me off of Destiny, because Destiny is the only reason I play that game as much as I do is because it reminds me so much of what Halo could. It's like the evolution of Halo.
You know what? When Halo Infinite comes out, you and I got squad up, man. And this is why, man.
Why?
I stopped playing Halo multiplayer as much as I used to because the people I used to play Halo with stopped playing Halo.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get into it anymore playing by myself. It just wasn't. I come from Halo Combat Evolved, the original Xbox, where you use like XConnect and even before we found out about XConnect, when we would just like link up 4 Xboxes together, 4 TVs, get a switch in the middle, and actually do split screens all across the board, playing all night long. Like I love the Halo campaigns, well, the majority of them, but not Guardians. But the multiplayer, I haven't had a love for the multiplayer like I used to have in a while, and I think it's due to the fact that I don't have people to play with. If I had people to play with, I would play it so much more. But,
yeah.
So we got squad up, man.
I'm always down to squad up on those. As soon as it's a bunch of people that's gonna want to squad up in that game. Shout out to Mr. Xbox. He says Destiny is a lifestyle, and I cannot disagree with you, sir. It's also a job. Yes, it's another thing that it is.
It's a part-time job.
It is definitely a job.
I'm not getting paid, then I'm not doing it. Okay.
Let's see.
That's what I had to be done with Destiny, and Mook said. How Forte is explaining Warframe is how I am with Destiny 2. And look, I felt the same way about Warframe. When they would come out with a new Warframe Prime, and I'm like, oh man, that new Warframe looks sweet. And to know what I gotta do to get that Warframe and not spend any platinum of getting it off of someone else who grinded for it. I need to go do these void
missions. Yeah.
Keep grinding them. Hope the RNG gives me parts. Not the Warframe. Parts of the Warframe.
All 5 pieces.
And then take the pieces and then build them in my foundry. And what does that take? That takes 12 hours each. If you want to speed that up, hey, here's some platinum.
Here's 5 platinum.
That up. And then when you get them all built,
3 days.
3 days to build the full Warframe, bro.
3 days.
I can't.
You almost slow-mo. You almost didn't want to build the parts until you had all of them, because you didn't want to build like, I got the Orca, I got the machine, I got the blueprint. It's gonna take 12 hours to build it. Oh my God, it's gonna take 3 days.
Forte, let me tell you
3 days.
The last time I played Warframe, I got all the parts. I built them all. I spent platinum on speeding them up.
Yeah, on the progression.
And then when I saw what the platinum was, and I didn't have enough platinum to get the Warframe immediately, and it was going to take me 3 days, I turned the game off and I never went back. So I got a Warframe that's just sitting in my foundry, waiting to be collected and used. That I said, nah, I'm good. I'm not waiting 3 days for this. Somewhere in between me uninstalling the game, not turning the game off, And that 3 days when it finished, at some point uninstalled Warframe off my PC.
I always thought that was the most ridiculous thing, that they made you wait 3 days to play with your brand new Ferrari.
Because they want you to spend the money.
They want you to spend the platinum.
Warframe is a free-to-play game, so I get it. This is the only way you're going to make money. But they make it so you can trade platinum, which is what, like the only way to get platinum is to either spend real hard-earned cash on it or to grind parts that people want out and then sell those parts on the Warframe market.
Yeah, I was a hardcore seller.
And get platinum that way, and vice versa. If you want stuff, you can use platinum to spend money on it. I know people who have never spent a dime in Warframe, and they got everything that they want. Never spent a dime. That's not me, though. I'm too impatient. So I try, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this thing for $40. This and all of it is cosmetics and all that great looking stuff and all that. Just buy it in the Warframe store and keep it moving.
Yeah, I did it for.
I just can't do it anymore, man.
Did it for Warframes. Like I waited a time for like certain ones. Oh, I don't need to play with it day one. I'll let that just finish out over 3 days. But it was like the ones that I really like. Vauban, when he first came out, I was like, I want to play with Vauban. Well, when Vauban first came out, he was super OP when he first came out. So
really?
Oh yeah. Well, see, you got to remember something. This is like back in, what was this, like season 11, season 12, season 13 when they came out with those. Then Zephyr, I think the last one that came out with Zephyr was the last year that I played the game consistently.
Okay, so like this is like that's before I even started playing Warframe.
What I'm saying, we're talking about Zephyr, old.
Yeah. Old.
Yeah. Vauban was like, there was Vauban, there was Zephyr, it was Necros. Necros was right before Zephyr. So those were all the ones that I was like, oh, I gotta. Necros was like the army, Walking Dead and stuff. I was like, oh, I gotta get them now.
You never even knew about like Excalibur Umbra. Oh, I love Excalibur Umbra.
Nope. The
coolest.
It's one of the best.
Excalibur, but with like a cloak and and like cool animations and.
I think the last Warframe I earned was Ember Prime. Was the last one I got because I got it from a Prime reward. When I ain't tell you I actually have a planet named after me in that game because I'm a Grandmaster, because I put up hard-earned money to get it up there.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do it anymore, because they don't do that no more. Yeah, but anyway, that's how I feel. Yeah. So, that's what I think about Battlefield. Once again, we go on the tide about something completely different. So you don't think it's going to hit Game Pass?
No, not at all.
All right, me personally, I don't care if it hits Game Pass. I want it to hit Game Pass because that means I can spend less money. But overall, I'm going to be buying this game either in Game Pass or playing it day one, no matter what. As long as it's not, as long as it's military based around somewhat of our lifetime, I'll play it day one.
Are you going to play that on PC?
I double dip on that. I'll double dip on that.
Okay. Because I might play it as well since I have EA Play Plus, so I'm gonna have access.
Yeah, I'll double dip on that. The thing about Battlefield games on PC, it's pretty rough playing those games on PC, especially if you're not playing mouse and keyboard. But I will be playing that in both places. So yeah, if you why won't you? Are you going to do what you said you were going to do? Did you come up to a conclusion? You said yesterday that you look at all that pop in. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of pop in on the screen. I'm looking at all this pop in and on this
about what you just said about what I said I was.
About the Xbox.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get a Series S just because I'm tired of like talking with people and they're like, yeah, we need to get up and play X. And I'm like, cool, let's do that. What you got it on? And they're like, I got it on Xbox. And I'm like, Well, damn, I ain't got an Xbox no more. And then it turns out the game doesn't have crossplay, or it's got some janky crossplay where it's like, yeah, we got crossplay between Steam and Xbox and Epic Game Store. There ain't no damn crossplay. That's PC. Like, I don't know where they get some of these publishers and developers get off saying we got crossplay and it's only between 2 free launchers on a PC. But that's what's been going on. I'm just like, man, I'm so tired of this. Let me just go get a Series S.
Right.
I throw it beside my PlayStation, and whenever, like, on the off chance, I mean, it's $300, like, ain't that big a deal. But on the off chance, you know, like, because it's happened like 3 or 4 times already, and it's just annoying. And I end up not playing games with people because they only, you know, got a game on Xbox, you know, and so. Well, another great example of it. Now, like I say, this is the 5th example. Outriders. When the crossplay was busted, and people was trying to play, they wanted help with stuff, and now I was going to help them, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, we can't do crossplay because the crossplay is busted, and you're on Xbox, so I'll just get a Series S eventually. Here's the funny thing, though, right? So when I wasn't looking at all for any Xbox whatsoever, I kept just getting bombarded with notifications about a Series S. I'm like, stop sending me notifications for a Series S. I got one for my son. I don't need a Series S. Stop sending me this crap.
Gotta get
now
it.
Now that I'm thinking, let me just go ahead and pick one up. I can't find one. And I'm just like, and if it is, I do find one, it's like some aftermarket nonsense on Amazon for like $400. Like, why would I spend $400 on the Series?
Walk into a Walmart, man. It seems like they always got them in stock for some reason.
I'll check the Walmart.
Shout out to the homie King Thrash. He live streamed him walking into Walmart with 8 of them sitting in the cabinet. you know he was in his bag that video.
Yeah, I might just need to go do that. Just walk into a Walmart.
Just walk into a Walmart, man. Are you like NBA, don't you, Slow-Mo?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm looking at the chat and I'm looking at ESPN. The Lakers are down by 17. They might be down by more than that now. I think I think they're going home. I think this might be the end of LeBron James's career as an NBA player.
I don't know about that. He's not retiring.
Well, he's not going to retire, but I don't think he's going to ever win another title.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man.
Do you think LeBron's going to win another title?
I doubt it. I can see him going to the finals again, but you know he's lost more finals series than he's won, so I can see that happening.
He's also been to more finals than most people.
Right?
Wasn't he like 11 or something? 12? I mean, well, Russell won 11.
I think it's like 10.
10? I don't know. Well, yeah. He's 6. He's 4 and 6 or something like that. You're right.
Right.
Yeah, but they're down by 17. Anthony Davis is out of the game again in the first quarter, so they're losing.
Yeah, I heard he sprained his pinky toe or something like that.
He sprained his pinky toe.
he pulled his hamstring getting his laundry, you know, something like that. You know, something happened where he's in street clothes once again. You know, I know a lot of people have been clowning him for always being
the unibrow.
I'm sorry, but like, look, you know, I don't want to sound super old school like Charles Barkley and Shaq, but like it used to be like you had to like lose a leg to not play in the playoffs, and these guys today are just not playing for like the most randomest reason. Oh, I kind of tweaked my hamstring. I'm gonna sit this one out. It's the playoffs, dude. What are you doing? Unless your leg or arm is falling off, or unless you lost an eye. Like, you should be out there on the basketball court. Like, they used to be dudes would literally get their face broken in. Take an elbow to the face. Whole skull is cracked wide open. They just put a mask on and go out there and play.
Oh, Ramon said he just wants them to have more championships than Boston.
The Lakers?
Yeah. Well, not gonna happen this year. Not gonna happen.
Right.
All right, Slow-Mo. Well, this was an amazing episode with you, brother. I truly appreciate you and all the hard work you put into all this stuff and all the knowledge you always bring to the show. Please let everybody know where they can find you. so they can check out all your content and what you got going on for the next week?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Slow Mo Backslap, as well as Twitter, same name. Again, as Forte has said before, I'm always on Twitter, so hit me up. Happy to have a conversation. It's all good. I know I need to get back to making more videos on you. I know I say
this is like 3 shows in a row now.
Yeah, it is, and it's. I'm just so busy.
I made a video a week at least.
Right. Look, I'm gonna get back to more regular content. I promise I will. But yeah, that look out for that in the future. And of course, great show, Forte, as usual. Great chat as usual. We had some really interesting conversations going on, and a little bit of slander from our homie Blaze. But you know how it is.
Absolutely,
he gets emotional. He's very emotional. He's sensitive. Blaze is sensitive. But yeah, great show, man. And I hope to see you guys next week on my channel when we do this on my channel at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want Slow Mo to make content, y'all need to go and scour the internet for anything Lost Suicide, and he will make videos for you. If you can find him something that he hasn't covered on that game, you will get videos out of him. A lot of them too.
Anything. Look, if Yang Bing sneezes, I'll make a video about it. That's how on it Lost Suicide I am. Like I will make a video off of like a screenshot. So it's whatever, man.
Yeah, and also, we're not plugged like a lot of these other content creators out here. Like you said, Slow Mo, he works from home. I have a job that I actually leave the house to go to, so we don't get a lot of chance to see a lot of the stuff that, like newsworthy stuff that people like to talk about. If you see stuff, just DM us, man. That's a really good way to let us know that there's stuff that you guys want us to talk about, and we'll definitely take all those tweets into consideration to make content and stuff around that, because guess what? You guys are the ones that power these channels, and we appreciate all of you. And the more we can do to make you guys a part of that show or a part of our channels by making this content that you like to watch, will definitely take it a long way. But for me, you're already on my channel. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave out. Make sure you hit that notification bell to let you know next time these videos all go live in these live streams. Once again, I appreciate my homeboy Slow Mo for coming through. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everyone with all the super chats. Shout out to the 53 people that we had at one point. You guys are amazing. And be ready for next week, because the next 2 weeks are going to be very, very memorable when it comes to no matter what platform you're looking forward to. Other than that,
also look out for like our Twitter accounts, because we're probably going to, if we decide to do any live streams of the conferences,
Nintendo,
we'll probably be letting people. I don't know about that one.
We're doing Nintendo because they're going to talk about the Switch Pro.
I don't know if you want me for that one.
I want you there because you that would be great to have you there.
The slander would be on slander levels 5,000. No, look, it's yeah, we'll see. Just keep a lookout, because we might go live for some of these events too.
Yes, I know. Ramon, that is not a word. Thank you for putting it in the chat. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you. Yeah, rememberable. It's actually
when we do I do the uploads for the podcast on Anchor. On Anchor, and to go out to all the podcasts and apps. I really be thinking about just taking like a word that you completely mispronounce so horribly and just making that the title of the video. But I was just like that. I don't know if that would trend well. So I don't do that.
Oh, I'm proud of you, Slow Mo.
Every episode,
there's always gonna be a word.
I can have this episode be rememberable.
You know what? I guess we'll let you. That's actually something good to talk about real quick. We're gonna be doing channel memberships on these channels very soon. We haven't decided on exactly how. We made a decision on how we're gonna do it. Because we want to make it easy for people that like to go to both channels and support both channels as easy as they can. So monetarily, we're going to make it so you'll be able to do it for a very low price if you want to get the same emotes and everything on both channels. We'll let people know exactly when that's going to get pushed live. It probably won't be till after E3 because we still have some stuff to do in the background. But DM us, let us know. Actually, I'll put a poll up or just put up a comment inside of my comment section, a community tab, and you guys can like give us some ideas on some tiers that you guys would think would be great for the channels and stuff that we can do. Because like I said, I want to put you guys as part of this community because you guys are so supportive. I want to get back to you guys as much as possible when we can. But no, man, outside of that, it was a great show. And we will be reaching out to all of you guys over the course of time, and maybe some type of giveaway where you can like pick out the thing that Forte said in the video or in the live stream that was completely inaccurate when it comes to how he pronounced it. So that might be fun. Might take people a while to find it.
A while. I mean, I think people will have a list of words.
Well, that's because no, they would have to actually go to the actual timestamp on the video and point like, here's where he said it. First person that finds it wins something. $10 PSN card or something. I don't know. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.